Hello and welcome. Week 4. Fantasy Access. Let's go. Fill it up.
Yeah.
More football.
That's a new one for you. I like it. All right.
Oh, I have just been loving watching football.
Have you?
I've had a couple good weekends. Last weekend I had ribs on the smoker.
Did you fix the?
I fixed it. Yeah. So next time.
You didn't fix it when I came over to football.
We had chicken sandwiches that day.
Yeah,
that was good
Those
too.
were good too.
Yeah. So it's just been so much fun tuning in and seeing how, all of those expectations we had over the summer and, preseason coming to fruition, seeing where, who's going off, see how teams are using people. It's just fun to watch. And with that, I'm going to go right into this quick question. We've had some people surprise us so far, some waiver wire darlings already through.
This is a change from.
Oh, yeah. We already did that one. I didn't update it.
Yeah, we did do that. I was ready. I was ready to answer the question that was on the show sheet.
We did that in the
show
preseason.
sheet, by the way, finally, you finally get it out to us.
With some wrong information.
With some runway time.
Right.
Then you changed the quick question at the top, so now I'm unprepared. And 3, the biggest story in the NFL is not on this list in any way, which is Taylor Swift is going to attend the Sunday Night Football game between the Chiefs and Jets. That's not on here. Mm-hmm. So how are we supposed to do a show when
I couldn't in right mind put Taylor Swift on this sheet.
Obviously, the biggest story, this has NFL implications, fantasy implications, pop culture implications. It's the biggest story in America right now.
It's true. Travis Kelce putting Taylor Swift on the map, right?
I guess.
There's this big TikTok going back and forth of wives telling their husbands, "Have you heard of this guy named Travis Kelce?" Yeah. And then in reverse, the husbands to the wives are like, "Do you hear about this country singer Taylor Swift?" Travis Kelce's putting her on the map.
That is a good one. All right. Anyway, all right. What's our?
All right. Sorry, I forgot to update it. I came up with a new one because we already did that one, but. Just waiver wire darlings so far. We've had a couple big pickups already this season. Who do you think rest of season will have the biggest impact for people's teams? And you can maybe have a second because you didn't know. I told you, right?
I mean, one of the favorite pickup that I saw, I didn't get a piece of him or anything, but Kyron Williams, essentially, immediately
big surprise,
supplanted Cam Akers as the starting running back with the Rams. Just tit for tat, and then it's Kyron Williams now. And
right.
Cam Akers gets shipped out, so it's not even there's no hope of him getting the job back in LA.
No dispute. Yeah.
That one was wild.
All the preseason hype around Cam Akers just gets handed off to Kyron Williams.
They were Cam Akers is a big part of this offense. He's our guy, blah, blah, blah. And
in week 1.
Just,
gone.
See ya. So strange. I'm curious to see what happens with him in Minnesota because, is it a him problem? Was it him with the organization? Was there some kind of headbutting going on? So maybe he can continue being a good NFL player and carve out a role in Minnesota, or maybe he's got a problem. I don't know.
Minnesota's got some. They got some stuff.
Yeah.
They have some things going on.
Do you have one yet, or do you want me?
Yeah, no, I'll go with the same team. What's the wide receiver's name that's been gobbling up all the targets?
Puka Nacua.
Yeah, Puka Nacua out of BYU.
There you go.
There he is. I mean,
does BYU produce receivers?
They usually have high flying offenses.
That's true.
They definitely are a school that, I don't know. You catch them they always play late. They're always on at 10:30 at the end of college football day. You pop that on as you're I don't know, getting ready to go to sleep or whatever, and you're like, oh, they have 74 points. So they usually they produce a player every here and there. And yeah, I mean, that was somebody that wasn't on anybody's radar coming into this. I think we all thought that offense, on top of it, was probably going to struggle. And they really haven't. And there's an argument to be made that they should have won that game on Monday night against the Bengals, but just weren't able to pull it off. So that team, I think, has surprised a lot of people, and therefore the individuals that everyone overlooked in the draft.
Right.
are guys that were good pickups.
I like it. I'm going to go Jerome Ford, the Nick Chubb replacement.
Yeah.
I think he looks good. I think, over the offseason, they let Kareem Hunt walk because they liked what they had in Jerome Ford. Now they brought Kareem Hunt back because of the Chubb injury, because you need that depth and someone familiar with the offense. But he looked good at the end of the game that Chubb got hurt in. And then last week against a pass funnel offense, as they say, the Titans had been real stout on D. You want to pass against them. He still got 2 touchdowns, one of them through the air, but he got it done. I benched him because I didn't have the faith against that defense, and I paid for it. But I think going forward, he's going to be a guy that maybe isn't going to be he's not Nick Chubb as a running back, but he's on a team that likes to run the ball. That's their offense, and he's a serviceable guy. So I think he does well.
Kareem Hunt eating up any carries at all, or do you think?
I'm not. I think he was inefficient when he was with the team last year, and I think they would have kept him around longer if, you know what I mean? Like, why cut him this year if you know what I mean? So it's just kind of strange. I mean, I guess anything can happen. He might, I don't know, turn a new leaf and be good again. But I think they saw what he had left, and they were all set with it. And the only reason is he knows the offense and needed the depth at this point. Right. So that's kind of where I stand on it. The other guy that we can just honorable mention, the Devon Achane, I forget. Achane. There it is. But I don't know. What do you guys think rest of the season for him? That's why I didn't pick him, just because I think he's going to be good, but
could be a fluky game, right? A 70 point game.
Blowout. He comes in,
there's so many pieces to that offense.
Carries in the second half.
Yeah, there's a lot of mouths to feed.
Yeah. And Waddle was out, so Jalen Waddle comes back. Tyreek Hill, he scored a touchdown first drive of the game, but they were up.
They had 35 points at the half.
Yeah, it was a crazy game.
Right, so I mean, obviously he's never gonna, I'm not gonna say never, but he's not gonna get 50 points
every game.
Right. Every game. But
I think he's gonna be second to Mostert unless he gets hurt.
Right. And I think that's kind of what it was at the start of the season. Was here's this rookie that they drafted. They saw the running backs that they had. Obviously they liked him enough to keep him around, but then they drafted Achane. And it was kind of the thought process was maybe it'd be a bit before he gets along. Maybe he never even wins the starting job. But the kind of thought was he'll be in the mix because it's Jeff Wilson and Raheem Mostert. It can't be too hard to be, that much better than those guys. So I'm sure he's proven that he will be and can be a part of the mix.
Yeah, I think that's the big takeaway.
Forward, Mostert's still the starter.
Yeah, but he's capable. That's the takeaway.
Right, he's capable. And if Mostert goes down or whatever happens, he'll be there to take some carries.
We identified that on this show a few weeks ago that that's one of those plug and play running back offenses.
Right.
You can put Cam there,
right?
And he's going to be fantasy relevant. So
wow, that's high praise.
Getting the carries. But I think you do bring up a good point that it's a lot of mouths to feed.
Yeah, I think so.
And then also if they're gonna, they're not gonna blow teams out by 50 every week, but if they're gonna be up a lot, as the season go on, they're gonna be handing it off.
That's true. I like it. All right.
Prematurely chop it up?
No, I wanted to go right into chopping it up. I don't want any headlines because Taylor Swift would have had to be in the headlines. I mean, there's a couple injuries out there and other headlines, but I feel like kind of some of the big, the big things are something we need to chop up, not just mention.
We chop up the headlines anyways.
Right. Yeah, that's what we're chopping up.
Right. So the first thing, and we just kind of talked about them, but Achane and Mostert, can you start them both going forward?
No.
Would you? You just start Mostert?
I'd start Mostert. I think Achane is matchup dependable.
Achane, sorry, yeah.
Achane.
That's I said it first.
Matchup. Right.
Keep saying
we're
it.
all saying it.
Matchup dependent.
I agree.
Against the Bills, I have him on my team. I'm not playing him.
You're not playing
the Bills.
Yeah.
Oh, be a good game this week.
The high over under on that in that game, just because two good offenses, and I mean we'll see what happens. So there's an opportunity there that even a capable backup could score like Achane, but He does a better week. No one would expect that. Save that for the hot take segment. You'd be off the scale. Yeah. I don't. That's a tough one. I mean, well, I can save this for fantasy therapy, I guess. But I have Achane and Mostert on my team. I think I can only start Mostert until something changes.
That's right.
Yeah. All right. So great game out of them. That offense was wild. 2 passing scores.
Yeah.
Tyreek and the chosen one came down with one there. Robbie Anderson. Name change.
Guy.
Yeah. And then just so many scores out of them. So that was wild. That was kind of fun to watch.
Yeah.
There's a route like that. It doesn't happen all the time.
Must have been nice sitting there with your ribs.
Yeah.
Being able to watch 70-point game.
Next one I got on here. I know, Tim, you've been following this because you got Burrow, but Bengals offense. They looked better, right?
They did, but it's still not equating into fantasy points for Joe Burrow.
Oh, yeah.
It's not.
What do you
have?
A pick and
you drafted Joe Burrow expecting to get
top 5.
Top 5 quarterback numbers, score. Have routinely 250, 300-yard games, 2 touchdowns. You were expecting that kind of a season, and then got hurt. The offenses looked weird. It's nice that Jamar Chase got in the mix a little bit this week. But yeah, I guess to our previous point, the Rams are better than we thought. Scoring 19 points at home, is it's NFL average. That's
right.
NFL average.
Right.
And you expected that offense to be better than that, well better, not 70 points, but well better than that.
And Chase had a couple big catches and had a decent fantasy game because of his yardage. But Higgins, he struggled still. He had a couple drops and didn't look great.
He had, I think, 2 touchdowns or something.
Well, he goosed the first week of the season. Then he had 2 touchdowns. So you're like, all right.
And then so it's sort of been hit or miss. And if you look at the fantasy, go back to Joe Burrow. I don't know, what's your boy Mixon been doing?
He had a touchdown this week, but it hasn't been great.
So it's been touchdown dependent.
Dependent, sure, for sure.
Fantasy production. And
the offense isn't generating enough scoring opportunities. They had
I'll tell you what.
They had a couple good drives.
The play is get Evan McPherson because they're kicking 50-yard field goals, all the time right now. So I know he had a big game. What do you got there? He had a big game last week. He had 4 field goals, right? And he missed a 56-yarder, so he could have even more.
Wow.
So scoring like a wide receiver there.
What about, is Burrow's injury part of this, you think? Is he
it has to be.
Right?
Or that he didn't play at all during the preseason, and so now he's they're just trying to figure it out. I don't know. I don't have a.
He almost sat last week, but he was pushing the coach and staff to play because he knew if the Bengals went 0-3, that basically that dooms them for the season.
Yeah.
Right.
So maybe if he just sat 1 week, any of these 1 weeks, it would have reset him, gave him an extra chance to heal.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what they needed, but Burrow's a competitor. He wanted to go out there and play games, and maybe that cost him early these first couple weeks.
But now they're going next week to Tennessee, a team that likes to slow down the game, deny you the ball, and I just don't know that that's going to get significantly better in the short term.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's not a great situation.
Well, hopefully, each week now, if he's not necessarily taking it off, but hopefully getting further away from that injury, he can, feel a little bit better each time. We saw a little bit of life, out of those fantasy players where Mixon scored, Chase went over 100. If Higgins doesn't drop those balls, he probably had a decent, at least something on the board for you. So hopefully they're trending in the.
They keep throwing to him.
Yeah.
Higgins, they just.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's trending in the right direction, but definitely something that we'll keep an eye on.
Headline: ESPN: Joe Burrow using Aaron Rodgers as resource for calf injuries. Maybe not the right guy. Maybe not the right guy. Man.
Oh man. All right. Stroud, Dell, and Collins down in Houston, doing all right.
Do we have to? Yeah.
Are
we at the point where we admit that offense is able to put up points?
Yeah, Houston's not horrible.
First week was difficult on the road in Baltimore, but scored 20 points.
Was that Stroud?
Average. What's up?
Who's this? Stroud?
This is just like the Texans as a whole.
Oh, okay. Yes.
And then last week they pop off 37 points. So
I mean, hitting those bombs to Tank Dell and Nico Collins has been producing. Like
CJ Stroud can throw the ball.
He's slinging it around a little bit.
He is more than capable. And the big knock was he can't read defenses. He sure read them just fine.
And he's got some guys that are getting open, so it doesn't matter at that point.
Yeah, I'll save the rest of my hot takes.
But they look good, and some of those fantasy pieces, whether they're off the waiver wire or streamers, you can probably plug those guys in.
I think it's a little tough because 3 weeks is both like a good sample size and also
it's like just enough.
But it's also like not like any like there's
not necessarily the truth.
So many players who struggle for 4 weeks and then finish great or have a great
especially with a new offense too, right? Like a new offensive coordinator, like new everything that like the league is still getting used to these players.
For sure.
But on the flip side, like the fact that they're playing good out of the gate seems to be like a better indicator that, because the question was, is CJ Stroud NFL ready? Are his wide receivers any good? And it seems to be the answer is yes. They're not just going to all of a sudden get worse at football. Maybe some teams kind of figure out how this Houston
they could change.
Texas offense is going.
But overall,
so far,
decent.
So good.
Yeah.
I like it. And then kind of staying on that same track, the Cardinals with Joshua Dobbs have also been decent. Like they're putting up points. Rondale Moore had a big touchdown. Marquise Hollywood Brown was involved, and he's probably the one there, so it makes sense. But he got a touchdown, I think, too. They look decent. Connor,
Josh Dobbs, more than serviceable.
That was they brought him in late in the season, in the preseason.
Kyler Murray let that guy spin for
seriously.
Yeah, I mean, we all thought like that Giants game is how they scored a bunch of points and then just gave it right back. That maybe that was indicative of the giving it back was indicative of what that team was going to be, and then they came out and steamrolled.
Yeah,
it really wasn't close.
And then didn't Cowboys. The Cowboys, right? So that's Cowboys were a Super Bowl contender. Anything can happen on any given Sunday, but
that one I'm just gonna attribute to a clunky game. I don't think we're gonna see that this week. Out of them back at home.
No, but it does take some. You gotta have something going on for the Cardinals to be able to at least pull that off. So. And that makes those fantasy pieces relevant too. So you can kind of use them in the same way, either pick them up or stream them or whatever you got to do. But there's definitely some points to be had there. I got one more, and then if you guys have anything to throw in, but Alvin Kamara is back, and we got to beat on that Saints team on this podcast, so we have to talk about it. But you had Jamal Williams going IR with the thigh issue, I think, or some leg issue. So he's out now. And then Kendre Miller, rookie, this is his first NFL action last week. He played behind Tony Jones and didn't do a ton. Tony Jones hasn't been amazing, but so it seems like Kamara should walk right back into his role. But
yeah, that team though, what do we expect out of that offense now?
Oh, right, without Derek Carr.
That's a big wild card. Jameis Winston, who's a capable.
Maybe Olave will score a touchdown with Jameis Winston airing it out now.
Yeah, 35 touchdowns, 35 interceptions.
That's right.
So he's at least a competent backup quarterback or quarterback in the league.
Yeah.
So,
and he's been with the team for the past however many years.
Right.
Yeah, and I think he's a little irritated. Has something to prove.
Right. They
had him under contract, and they nah, you're not good enough.
Yeah, Derek Carr.
So it'll be I don't know, something to monitor.
Yeah,
I think.
I think you can probably start Kamara though, right? You throw him back in there, and I think that's the expectation as he takes on his usual role. But yeah, see how he looks after not playing and see if that efficiency is there this year.
Yeah.
You guys got anything else to chop? Properly chopped?
Let's consider it sliced.
All right, hot takes segment. This week I want to do a little something different. We got a QB, a running back, a wide receiver, and a tight end. We're gonna do a take. If you can make it spicy, great. But I want to give a little, like, the other two who aren't giving the take can give a little grade, just a 1 through 10 on how spicy your heatometer.
The heatometer 10 is there?
10 being we're gonna get one. 10 being the spiciest.
1 being just like a regular
like
green bell pepper.
Devon Achane scores more than he did last week. That would be a 10.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll just take a couple takes this week. What you're kind of expecting, or whatever you feel might happen, and however spicy it might be. Jared, you got one? You got a QB for us?
I'll go QB. I'll give you 2 QBs.
2 QBs.
I think as good as Josh Allen and Tua Tagovailoa are, I think the Bills and the Dolphins defenses have proven to be pretty good so far this year.
Miami's surprising.
So I'm gonna expect that the tops aren't gonna be blown off here in this game, and that it's a little bit more chilled.
Okay. Wow, it's one of the highest over/under games.
Take. That's like a 6 on the hot.
Yeah, 6 or 7.
I think it's the first hot take of this new system. I'll take a 6.
That's
because you're right about the defenses, but the offenses too are both good and high flying.
But I think they're two teams.
What's gonna give?
They're 2 teams that know each other very well. I think.
True.
Out of curiosity,
I feel like this season in general has just been every time you think it's gonna be
one thing,
big blowout game or something.
So
the defenses have been winning this year. So
the total is 53.5. So you would say that you think
take
those
the
teams
under.
are gonna go under that.
I'd say go under than that.
So
I think that's pretty spicy.
Use that as your spice threshold. Right. So you're saying, give us a final score. And if you call it exactly, then
extra point.
Here.
I really like the Bills defense. Granted, Miami obviously just put up 70, but they're not going to do that again. So I think the Bills win. I think they squeak a couple, and then Bills will get, 20?
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll put it to, I'll say they get funky and get 15 somehow.
Wow. 20 to 15. I don't know.
All right, 20 to 15.
That's spicy for me. I think they're 7-8. Yeah.
If it shows up as that would be impressive. Okay. All right. My hot take on the this is was that QB position or was that just general?
QB.
That was QB. All right. Is that CJ Stroud throws for 300 yards and 2 TDs in this game at home against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Ooh, that defense has been good.
Yeah, they may. I don't know if they win the game, but I think they're committed to firing the football around the field, which is cool.
350 and 2?
No, 300.
302.
302.
Okay. Yeah, that's in that 6-7 range. I think that's pretty spicy, but not impossible. Stroud's looked good.
Yeah.
To get 2 touchdowns in there. Yeah, I think you can go over 300.
Okay.
I like it. It's a good take. My QB one is Brock Purdy has his highest fantasy output of the season. He had, I think, a 14 and 11 and 23 last week. So I'm talking a 25-pointer from Brock Purdy
against
this. Yeah, and then this week he's got the Titans. So they're a little more stout on defense. Is what I was talking about with Jerome Ford earlier last week.
They don't have the Titans.
They don't have the Titans?
No, they have the Cardinals.
Oh, Cardinals. Well, also a game you want to open it up a little bit.
So it doesn't change your take.
It does not change my take. I did think it was the Titans, but yeah, I think he's been playing good. He's going to have Ayuk back, and of course McCaffrey's going to do his thing, but I think Purdy has a good game.
Smart quarterback. I'll give you a hot take, Omi. That highest fantasy points this season, that's pretty spicy too. That's a
25. What
6. That's a 6.
All right. Yeah.
Because I don't. That's not a. We wouldn't think that would. Yeah, that's a 6.
I'll agree with that.
Okay.
All right. Cool.
All right. Running backs.
Yeah, let's do
running
it.
backs.
Can I mix my running back and wide receiver
Yeah.
take?
Yeah, why not?
Fill it up.
Let's do it.
All right. I'm gonna say, a lot of people, Mike Williams goes down, and they go, "Oh, Josh Palmer is gonna be good. Quentin Johnson gonna fill up his offensive role so much." The Chargers, every time one of their guys goes down, instead of filling it in with some kind of backup, they just target their other studs even more. Like in the past season, every time Mike Williams goes down, it's
Like Keenan Allen
the
this
Keenan Allen
past
show.
week.
It's
Yeah.
the Austin Eckler show. So Mike Williams down for the season. I think definitely for this game, Eckler's going to out-target Josh Palmer. That's my running back take.
Nice.
Oh.
Okay.
And then Josh Palmer
And that Eckler's back on the field.
and that Eckler's back on the field. He practiced in a limited capacity.
Oh, good.
Yesterday. And then my wide receiver take, one being that Josh Palmer will get less targets, but then also Josh Palmer for the rest of the year just isn't going to be that good. Like he may, maybe a spot start here and there, but I don't think you can slot him in as you would Mike Williams and call it a day.
Right. Well, yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
take.
so what's your meter?
I feel like that's a 5. Yeah.
5. Yeah. All right. That's a 5.
Pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah.
My running back take is gonna reference your Alvin Kamara is back and to chop it up. Under 50 yards, single digit game
For Kamara?
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
So I don't.
They ease him back in.
No, I don't think it's an ease back in.
You don't think he's that good?
I don't think it's an ease back in. Production has generally been on a downward trajectory. How old is Alvin? What do you got for me there? How old is he these days?
I don't know.
27.
I think he's in the same. He's in an age range of like Ezekiel Elliott
right.
and Dalvin Cook, those guys. So I'm gonna suggest with the new quarterback that they may.
I mean, it was
struggle to run the football.
with Winston last year that he saw that decline and that inefficiency kind of kick in. So
against the Buccaneers, which aside from the last game, has been playing pretty good defense. What do you got for
It's
me?
28.
28. So he's at that
Oh,
age.
yeah.
That's the running back age. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some can do it, but not everyone's LaDainian Tomlinson.
Right.
So.
I think that's pretty spicy.
Henry did it last year.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe
Yeah.
not so much this year. So.
Right. I think that's pretty spicy because of the name of Alvin Kamara, and everybody's been anticipating his return, and you want to just slot him in as your RB1 like usual. But so just on that, you're kind of expecting a bigger, like a lot of involvement. But it's true that I guess we saw some of that decline last year, and I don't know. I think I'm gonna put that at a 6.
Put it at a 6.
Well, I can agree that maybe in the general populace it's kind of spicy. I've kind of always been off the Alvin Kamara train all preseason, so I'll put it in as a 4.
All right.
All right.
I see it. What are we on? Running backs? I have Josh Jacobs having a bounce back game.
He's struggled this year.
Yeah, I think he gets right this game. 100 and a touch.
Is Jimmy Garoppolo going to play? He's in
I don't know.
concussion protocol, isn't he? I think he's in concussion protocol.
Does that help your case or
I don't know.
He remains in the protocol as of Wednesday.
Maybe they run the ball more if he doesn't play,
practice.
but also maybe the offense is better if he
Things
does
are not
play.
right down there. Things are not right. So
But I feel like he sat out.
Take. That's a 7 because it's you got Devontae Adams saying this isn't a champ. We're not working hard enough. Like
Yeah.
wrong. And it might be the head coach. How's that for a hot take? Head coach hot take.
Kicking field goals.
Yeah. What the
That's true.
what?
2
Yeah,
minutes
that's
left.
weird.
Went down a touchdown.
Yeah.
No, down 8.
Down
right?
8.
Yeah.
Like less than 2 minutes left. It was something crazy where it was like, you're not getting the ball back. I don't know.
Yeah.
Somebody's supposed to be in your ear right now telling you this is a bad idea, and the fact that you don't have that person is not good.
Well, my justification is he's getting the touches. He's was the rushing leader last year, and you got to expect him to return to that mean. Maybe he needed to be in better football shape after sitting out. So I think if he's going to get right, I don't know if the team, is a bigger issue that I'm not realizing, but if he's going to get right, I think it's going to be this week, and I think he's got a decent matchup. Did I write it down? Chargers, who are pedestrian.
I mean, neither of those teams play home games, really. I mean, it's going to be like a bunch of tourists at that game. Okay. All right.
I'll agree with that. It's a 7.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
That's the spiciest take so far.
Nice.
Did you do wide receiver?
So my wide receiver was Josh Palmer. Ain't that great?
Ain't that great?
This is, I think, not actually so spicy, but more on it later. I don't know unless I'm gonna do it because Garrett Wilson's my favorite player in the NFL. I don't know that he's startable right now.
Oof. That's your take?
That's my take.
That's pretty spicy.
Is it?
He's good.
He's
probably like a top 5 talent.
I believe that.
Without a quarterback.
Top 5 NFL receiver that right now cannot get the football, and he's touchdown dependent, and if he scores a touchdown, that's great. But last year he somehow managed to be what's the term we came up with? The quarterback didn't matter. He somehow had fantasy production. He won Rookie of the Year.
That's true. He did that with 3 different quarterbacks last year.
He's touchdown dependent. He's quarterback independent.
Yeah. I don't know.
But it looks bad right now.
It's not. Yeah.
So this is complicated because you want to be to sit a stud like that is a little bit crazy. If anyone's going to do it, it's going to be him. If they have a good game but it just hasn't been there.
There was a video breakdown so everyone was like, oh, the Patriots secondary, this Gonzalez guy was
he does look good.
Video breakdown, Garrett Wilson was open almost all day and just did not get the football.
Yeah.
So that's the problem. So I
sit
just don't
Wilson,
know.
I think it's the situation makes it less spicy. Obviously that they're not getting it to him, but to sit a stud like that is pretty spicy.
Yeah, and it's
I'm gonna put it up with a 7 too.
And it's
just because to sit him is that's a harsh move. I like it.
Okay.
I was gonna say I guess he did get those 2 touchdowns, helped his score out, like we were saying.
That 83-yard game, that was one play where he busted
right
60 yards.
2 receptions for 83, but then New England 5 for 48.
That's great. It's good.
It's
fine. That's
I also think the fact
Kendrick Bourne numbers, right?
Saleh's almost losing the locker room because he's been sticking it out with.
I think those reports are reporters.
So
I don't think
they go out and they side Trevor Siemian, which is that any improvement at all? But you're right. Considering last year,
yeah.
I'll give it a 6.
All right.
Yeah. My wide receiver, Marvin Mims, the rookie in Denver, leads all Denver wide receivers in fantasy points this week.
Okay.
So he outscores Judy and outscores Sutton this week.
You're only saying this week?
Just this week. Week 4.
Okay.
Just this week? Who are they playing? Oh,
Chicago.
This game is just atrocious.
Chicago, yeah. Fill it up.
So you're trying to give everybody
garbage time. Marvin Mims.
Give everybody a reason to watch. Russell Wilson will still throw the football. Wow, yeah.
This is like the dumpster fire bowl.
Right.
He's been all right. He's gotten some deep targets, but he's got 2 pretty good established players ahead of him that it would be tough to outscore.
Yeah.
But he has one big game. It's possible.
You just need one kind of big play from him.
It's a 5.
Yeah.
I'll agree. I'll say 5.
Oh, wow. Okay. Cool.
All right. Tight end.
All right. I think the current tight end 2 in fantasy, Sam Laporta. I think he stays. I'll say top 3. He'll finish
top 3 this week.
I'm gonna say season. I think in the season.
We're making season calls.
A season hot take.
This is week 4 hot takes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sam Laporta starting
Yeah.
strong, and I see no reason,
You're just calling it out.
especially with how tight ends have been playing this year. Evan Ingram is a top 5 tight end this year. I think Sam Laporta, no reason he should not be.
Yeah, he looks good. He's involved.
Okay.
Top 3 though, that's a little bit spicy.
So we're talking Travis Kelce.
I'm saying Kelsey and Hawkinson stays up, or Andrews figures it out, or one of
Ferguson with his 10 touchdowns.
Yeah.
That's an 8. That's a bold declaration.
Yeah, I was gonna
of
say
the top
7 or 8.
All right.
Top 3's hot. He has looked good. I'll agree with you there.
Those are good.
But 3 is spicy. Nice.
three.
Good one.
All
Good
right.
one.
So my tight end hot take is no tugs for Mr. Travis Kelce this week. He will
Really?
not find the end zone.
Ooh.
So
They did
with,
say Taylor's coming
yeah,
back.
Taylor's gonna be there.
I'm gonna say that's a 10. There is
There we
no
go. That's what I was going
way.
for.
Yeah, that's a
That's
9
what I
or a
was going
10.
for.
There is no way. I mean, Mahomes said it himself last
He's like,
week.
I
He was
feel-
looking for Kelsey.
But he always looks for
He always
Kelsey.
looked for, yes.
You're surprised when he
Like,
doesn't
so-
score.
So to even say in any given week that Kelsey's not going to find the end zone, like that's a 7 in of itself.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, he's not gonna have 17 touchdowns. I don't think.
Right.
Good.
He could, I guess, but
And,
But
and
yeah,
if he's
it's
gonna
not-
score one, it's in the Sunday night game against in New York, right there in
Yeah,
New York,
yeah.
in New York with
Taylor
Taylor in
Swift.
attendance.
Yeah.
she's saying "Welcome to New York." That is the song of hers. Yeah.
It's spicy.
I know.
I know. That's why I know it.
That's,
Best take yet.
Or
hottest
I'll
take yet.
modify it.
oh,
He won't have a receiving touchdown.
Oh. I still
I
like
think
it.
they do that.
They do some like
kind of-
reverse or like
some
some
kind of trick play,
wildcat nonsense. And he gets it. Like this is it won't be like this will be like a team effort to get like team wingman effort.
They draw things
Yeah,
up
they
for
they,
him.
they draw up like and it'll be at the fourth quarter when they like are clearly pulling away in the game and they'll
They
be
run,
like
they do the ring
yeah
around
they
the
do
rosy
they do
tunnel.
some kind of like everyone cartwheels out of the
Yeah,
huddle
yeah.
and Travis Kelce like gets under center and then something like
And
something like that.
Travis Kelce.
The push play.
Push.
Maybe.
That would be just pop culture colliding. Oh man.
All right, that's my hot take.
I love it.
All right, 10. That's
Yeah, 10. You win that one. Mine can't really follow that, but Luke Musgrave in Green Bay,
Yeah.
top 6 finish this week.
Well, we already know that Travis Kelce's not scoring.
So he's not that opens
That's
up.
one out. So that opens the door.
And right, it's not the tight ends aren't the most lucrative position when it comes to fantasy scoring. So, but if he has a good game, I think he can finish in that top 6. It's
Yeah.
still kind of lukewarm, but
Since you said top 6, I'll give you a 6.
appreciate it.
I'll agree with that.
All right.
All right,
So some like mildly spicy.
Yeah.
Some outlandish.
it's something. He's a rookie too. He's still got something to prove.
While we're speaking of hot takes, do we want
Yeah.
to update?
Yeah,
kind of
let's
the season
and tight
last
ends and
Yeah,
all that.
tight end. So I wasn't here last week.
didn't matter.
But we did get to update. I don't know how best I do this, but Jake Ferguson.
Touchdown.
Got
meter,
one.
Yep.
So he filled it up. Did
So
not.
he's got one.
He's got one.
Week 2. Did not get any.
He
where is he here?
he might be leading the tight ends in red zone targets though.
Maybe.
He has the one.
Yeah, nice.
Okay.
One.
There we go.
One.
We're up to 1.
All right.
Boom. Keep that. Yeah.
I mean, that's not.
Keep that
not
on
a
the
long
set.
way to go, but
Eight more. 8 more and 14 weeks.
14 weeks. We can do it.
Doable.
This is such a random stat that we're tracking.
Yeah.
I just thought it was funny when you were just like 9.
Yep. Did I say 9 or 10?
You said 9.
Oh, good. Oh, I'll definitely
what
get
you
9.
Do you want to update it to? You think
No,
it's
9's fine.
Okay.
But I do like his red zone targets.
Yeah.
It's a valuable role there. See how it goes. All right. Well, real quick. Everybody's got a fantasy therapy. We're 3 weeks in. I'm sure
Mm-hmm.
there's some turmoil on your team. We're here to help.
Or
If
just
it,
listen.
even if it's just listening,
right,
or if
just
if we
listen.
need to be in the problem solving phase, we can get there too. So Jared, what do you got over there? What's ailing you?
I guess the biggest thing last week was I did lose a matchup by 0.14 points.
Oof.
To my brother of all people.
Adam.
With Devon Achane on my bench.
Oof. Yeah, that's a dagger.
Which you can say, never going to start him. But so Nick Chubb went out for me earlier in the year. And then Aaron Jones went out for me that week.
Dang.
So I was down to Miles Sanders, and my bench options were Jalen Warren and Devon Achane. Warren seemed like the obvious choice at the time. Had I just had a random thought to start Achane,
that's not. That's like
50 points.
The most competitive decision. Like Jalen, like other people had like Mostert or somebody. And it's like, yeah, I'm going to start Mostert, not Achane.
But I had 2 backup running backs.
So there's like a chance that you could have thought of it. But still, I would have picked Warren too.
2020, I would have.
Yeah.
Knowing the information I knew at the time.
Yeah. We
can't beat
live
yourself.
Our life that way.
Yeah.
We don't.
You did your best
In the
with what you had.
You could.
And then, I could have asked for one of the guys I did start to, take it 2 more yards. And,
sure. Right. Yeah. True. Yeah, that's tough. Tough break. But get him next week.
All right.
Get him next week.
Yeah. That's all you can do. Is look at the future. So I guess my fantasy frustration lies in having explosive players on teams that are not currently explosive. So Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson.
Oh, Breece Hall.
And it's just like, I think like we all had hope after the Buffalo game that like he broke these big runs, like
he looks
reminded what he was capable of.
He hasn't done it.
Scary Terry.
Right. Yeah.
They're not getting great quarterback play down there either. He's, somebody that's been like with also a dozen different quarterbacks and seems to have been able to overcome those in previous seasons so far. Not like the one game where he scored the touchdown, but again, he's not putting up like 100-yard games anymore. So it's frustrating when you have those explosive players and you drafted them because they have been explosive players in the past, and they are just not in explosive offenses currently.
That is up there with fantasy frustrations because you got these highly touted, highly skilled, super talented.
Put them on the bench.
That's what your Garrett Wilson take. It's like, how do you bench this guy? How do you bench?
These guys, they are just
Breece Lightning,
Breece Hall, like one run, like break one tackle, or 6, whatever,
right?
And you have your production, and they're all capable of that one play, and they just haven't come this year.
Yeah, that's frustrating.
Right.
No,
you can chalk it up to a slow start. Washington new quarterback.
Yeah, some chemistry could build there. Some chemistry could build
there. What's his name? Sam Howell. Like he played well in that one start. Like he was throwing the ball around last year, and it just doesn't seem like that's what's happening. Maybe you're like, you're gonna lean on like Eric Bieniemy and like what he's able to do for the Chiefs.
Time could help that situation, I think. But yeah, they got to figure out Zach Wilson up in New York to get Garrett Wilson back and unleash Breece Hall. Like you need some kind of offense to start getting generated.
Today, which is, I think, a great way. If I were Nathaniel Hackett, this is how I would approach it. I would be like, listen, literally have nothing to lose at this point. Like, if you throw 6 interceptions, like it cannot get worse. So you may as well do it.
Right.
So just fire the football like you did in BYU.
Yeah.
And
let's play some ball.
Let's see what happens because it can't get worse than what it is, which is sitting back there. Like everyone's complaining about the offensive line for the Jets. Actually played quite well. He had like the most time to throw and just like, nope. Like, didn't recognize the defense and didn't throw the ball.
Yeah. This kind of goes right into mine.
Yeah.
Probably saw this coming, but
Fields.
Justin Fields, I started him 3 weeks in a row, and he actually hasn't been horrible for fantasy. It's like 11, and 13 points, which isn't, but this guy was, I've drafted him like the 4th round. He's supposed to be like a lot of high expectations. He looked electric last year as far as like running the ball. We thought maybe the passing would take a step forward, and it's the same thing. He's like
Do you think
either
these guys
he's
are
scared.
being like? I think they're. I wonder. My thought is they're both have talent. They're not like no one will deny that.
Right.
Are they being overcoached to the point where like they're being told it's all negative? It's like don't make a mistake, don't make a mistake, don't make a mistake. So like now like I don't believe what I see anymore because I don't want to make that mistake. So now I'm like worried to throw the football.
Right. I think it's that, and I also think I feel like they're getting in their own way with some of that, kind of in the same like overcoaching. But like, how do you not roll Justin Fields out and like either he's open or he takes off? Like it's run that. You know what I mean? Like
you see these teams run that play all the time. I get frustrated with like you see like bootlegs where you basically isolate whoever is in whatever defender's in the flat, and they either come after you and you dump the ball for 10 yards to a tight end, or they stay back and you can either take a deep shot or you can just run for 10
exactly
yards.
Get him out of the pocket, and if you're struggling, right, you've established you're struggling, so do some of that stuff but I don't know, they can't get out of their own way. He's a little gun shy because of that overcoaching as far as like don't make a mistake, and then they're not putting him in the right situations, and then I don't know, like we saw Chase Claypool week 1 like dogging it out there. There's been like receivers aren't open. O-line's not good. Like we don't know exactly where it lies. But so my thinking, you're going to think I'm crazy, but I was going to start him one more week against Denver, who just got
Denver stinks.
Yeah, tore apart. It's going to be like I said, the dumpster fire bowl. I think if he can't get anything done, then I'm probably not going to drop him, but he's hitting the bench and staying there until he proves it.
If I remember,
if the matchup wasn't good,
your team, your backup is Tua.
My dynasty team, I have Tua. He's starting this week.
Okay.
But my other options would be streamers in my family league. And
did you not have Tua starting last week?
I did not.
It's 7,000.
I said I'd rock with Fields 3 weeks, and
oh man.
But I ended up pulling it out anyway in that one. But but just my investment in Fields in general this year was like all in. All the eggs in that basket.
Josh Allen kind of growth.
Yeah, and it just hasn't happened, and I'm sad about it. So that's all there is to it.
Coaching is he's a player that demonstrates how important coaching is at the NFL level, and he might not have it.
Yeah, it's tough.
Those coaches can get fired.
Yeah, I think so. All right,
picks.
Enough there. So games and pick 'em. We've got the Lions and the Packers. AFC North face off tonight.
Well, can we update last week?
NFC North, sorry.
Can we update last week?
Yeah.
Let you take a little victory lap?
Oh, sure.
You went 3-0 in your picks last week.
Yeah.
So
woo.
You're out of the basement. Actually, not really. You and I are tied for the basement. But you went
we're in good
3-0.
company.
So you have an overall pick record of 5-5.
Okay,
I was
500.
the opposite. I went 0-3, so now I have an overall pick record of 5-5. Jared went 1-1, pushed the Bengals game, which was his pick, and so he is 6-3.
Okay,
like a game.
Jared, way to go, way to go.
All right, so let's start tonight. Lions, Packers. Lions on the road. They are 2-point favorites on the road. So. Jared, what is your pick in that game?
I am gonna take the Packers at home. I like how the Packers have been looking.
Mm-hmm.
Familiar of Lambeau Field certainly won't hurt them.
True.
I'm gonna go the opposite. I'm gonna take the Lions. I think the Packers are still kind of reeling from some injuries. Were able to pull it off like last second last week. I don't know if Derek Carr's healthy, that they
Jared Goff? What do you mean?
No. Last year, Derek Carr. If he stayed healthy, that they would have won that game.
Gotcha.
So and how about Jared Goff being like, I'm pretty good.
Yeah.
And so I will take the Lions minus the 2.
Yeah, I liked how Jordan Love was playing. I guess I didn't know what to expect out of him. Of all the new starters, he's obviously been in the league for a while, so it makes sense that he's doing decent. But I think I like the Lions team better. Jahmyr Gibbs, explosive, and Goff's been playing pretty good. So I think I'm going to go Lions as well.
Okay. Next, you have the Patriots game. They will be playing at Dallas, the 4:25 game on Fox. Dallas is 6.5 point favorite.
It's a lot of defense in this game.
So I will I will say this is a get right game for the Cowboys. The Cowboys have, I know they lost their corner Diggs. Still think their defensive pass rush and their defensive front is probably too much.
Micah Parsons is good.
It's not like the Patriots blew the doors off last week, and this defense is as good, if not better, than the Jets. So I will take the Cowboys in this one, minus the 6.5. Europe.
I'm going to go Patriots. I'll take the points, but
You're entitled.
I mean, we did see this Cowboys team lose to the Cardinals.
They laid an egg.
Yeah, and not that they can't bounce back from that, but anything's possible. And I'm going to go with my Pats.
Yeah.
I've been bouncing back and forth between this one, but I think 6.5 points is a lot of points, so I'm going to go with the Patriots. Right. They've played, they're 1-2, but they've played every game.
Yeah, they're
really
close. It's true.
Playing possession games. Possession games.
And, they signed Will Greer to squeeze all the secrets out of him. So I'm sure they'll be ready.
Yeah, stealing signs from Zeke.
Some kind of like bizarre special teams play that no one's ever seen before. All right, Jets Sunday night, nationally televised game, hosting the Kansas City Chiefs. Taylor Swift in attendance, which I believe made this line move to 9.5. Her presence moved from 8.5 to 9.5. So Cam, you're up first here.
I'm gonna go with the Chiefs. I think they can manage a tough defense, and I don't think Jets gonna be able to keep up.
I think Travis Kelce scores 3 touchdowns.
All non-passing.
Maybe not non-passing, but I think 9.5 is a lot of points, but the Jets
haven't proven they can score them.
No.
Defense is going to keep them in for about 3 quarters, and then the Chiefs probably pull away and win it by the 9.5 or more than 9.5.
Yeah.
So it's going to be closer than we think for a little while, but then it'll just get out of reach.
So Chiefs across
All
the
right.
board.
So pick your game, Jared.
I started looking for one, and then I kind of forgot because we started getting ready for the show. But
Isn't this getting ready for the show?
I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say Pittsburgh at Houston. Houston's +3. I'll take that.
You'll go Houston?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, Stroud's going to throw 2 TDs and 300 yards.
Right.
So Houston +3.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to go to that what do you call it? The premier game in the 1 o'clock window, and I'm going to pick that Dolphins-Bills game. I think that the Dolphins continue to fly, continue to fly high.
I like that.
They scheme that up. They're 2.5 point underdogs on the road, so I'll take the Dolphins. And my points that I'm entitled to, I think they win the game outright.
I like it. What is your line on the Dumpster Fire Bowl? Denver and Chicago.
-3.5.
Let's go.
Let's just what do you think the total is in this one?
19.
46 actually.
Oh, is it? Wow.
Yeah.
That's higher than I would have
it
thought.
would've been like
They don't
30,
believe
30s,
in
yeah.
defense. They don't believe in anyone.
No defense will be
All
played.
right,
Yeah.
so Denver on the road, they're 3.5 point favorites.
I'm riding with Fields one more time, so I'm going to go Chicago. After this, he hits the bench, so I really hope he does something.
All right.
Now or never.
Yeah.
Now or never, Justin.
I thought I had a pretty long leash, giving him this long. Like I think most people probably benched him last week. I was like, nope. I
saw the talent.
wanted three good weeks.
You're committed.
I'm committed.
All right. So last week in the baseball segment, like hit the button and make the thing.
Yeah, don't have one yet. Yeah.
Cam picked who was going to make the playoffs from the National League in the wild card. So he picked Philadelphia, he picked Miami, and he picked Cincinnati. So update that.
Pretty good picks.
To play. Cincinnati is a game and a half back from the last playoff spot. Miami is tied for the last spot, and Philadelphia has locked it in. They are in the playoffs. So you are
So you're saying there's a chance.
You got one, and you could pull out all three. Yeah. And we agreed that this week you would pick the American League because there's more clarity now.
Right.
All right.
Which is what we needed.
So the American League, Baltimore is in. Tampa Bay is in. They're both in the East.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay could win the East, but Baltimore, the Orioles, are probably going to win the East. Okay. Then the Central, Minnesota has won that. The West is where things get tricky. Texas has 89 wins. Houston has 87 wins. Seattle has 85 wins. So Houston, and there's what we got. It's Thursday, so teams can have 3 or 4 games left. Most of them have 3. So here are your choices. Baltimore. So there's gonna be 7 teams. Baltimore, Tampa, and Minnesota are already in.
Locks.
Locks.
So we're picking
you
4.
need to pick between Texas, Toronto, Houston, Seattle.
We're picking for 2.
So we got 1, 2, 3 are in already. Wait, are they? No. So somebody's going to be left out. What am I missing? Toronto, Houston, Seattle. Oh, Texas.
You were Texas.
Texas, Houston. One of these teams. What am I? How am I messing this up? Oh, because one of them is going to win the West. So who's going to win the West between Texas and Houston? That's your first.
Texas.
Texas, they're 2 games up. You think they hold on?
Yeah, they hold on.
All right, so Texas wins the West. All right, and then give me out of Tampa Bay is in. Oops, go back to the standings. Tampa Bay is in. Out of these 3 teams, Toronto, Houston, and Seattle, what 2 teams make it? So you got. I'm gonna
take the Toronto because they have the lead, but then surprise you with a Seattle pick. Go on a little tear here this last week.
I love that pick. I'd love to see Seattle make it. Who do they have?
Get a couple good matchups, I think.
Probably just one. They play Texas. They play a 4-game series with Texas. So if they win all of those games, they would tie with Texas for.
So you're saying there's a chance.
Well, they might win. Well, so you're saying Texas, Toronto, and Seattle make it, and Houston is out.
See ya.
All right, so they're the ones.
That's it. You heard it here first.
ALCS for them, according to Cam.
According to Cam, I mean, they've been in the ALCS, 6 straight years?
Yeah, something like that.
Something's got to give.
Something does have to give, and you called it. So
spicy meter?
That's I mean, the Seattle pick, that's a spicy pick, right?
Yeah. Especially because he also picked Texas to win the division.
Yeah. Mathematically, I'm not sure how that works, but I mean, I guess Houston could tank.
Houston could
who they play.
Let's see. They have a series against Arizona. It looks like.
And Arizona is fighting in the NL for that. That's a big series because Arizona, they're currently in. They need to hold on.
That's right.
So they got to win some games. All right. So you heard it here first.
You heard it here.
Texas wins the West. Toronto, Seattle, the last 2 wild cards. And you're sticking with. Well, I don't think you can change your picks.
No, I'm sticking.
But it's looking like the Reds are probably not going to make the playoffs.
Ah!
I know. That would have been good. But you might get Miami.
Miami.
That'd be a fun one. I like
Miami and Seattle. I'm holding out hope.
Okay. I like it. Yeah. Here we go. Nice job, King.
All right. And thank you for tuning in, and good luck this week. Set your lineups. good luck tonight, and we'll see you next time.
We gonna